video is going to be a high-end versus drugstore makeup look. So half of my face will be done with high-end expensive makeup and half of my face will be done with drugstore. It's not necessarily going to be like exact dupes. It will either be the same finish, the same color, the same formula. So let's say the foundation was the same formula, same finish, but I just don't have the same exact color, so one is a little bit lighter than the other. And I really hope you all enjoy this video. I hope you all find it useful. I hope you find some dupes that you didn't know about. I really hope you enjoy the video, so let's get into it. Okay, so for brows, I have a dupe for pencil, pomade, and gel. I'm gonna use them all just so you can kind of see. This side high-end and this side drugstore. This is the Precisely My Brow by Benefit. So with the brow pencil, I'm just going to do an outline and actually fill it in with a pomade just so I can like show you a few more products. So the dupe for this is the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. I really like this brow pencil. I think it's such a good dupe. Now I'm going in with the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. Everyone knows about this. Something I do want to mention is like the size is obviously different, but this is 82p and I don't remember how much this is, but I would say like £18. So this is the Wonder Brow by AOA, which is the brand from Shop Miss A. I used it in my first impressions video of Shop Miss A, which I will link somewhere at the top. As you can see, this one's a little bit more like a warm brown and this one's not, but formula wise, I think these are like pretty much exact dupe. For brow gels, I have the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is the AOA Go Brow. I'm gonna go in with the Shop Miss A one first. So far, I think that the brows look really similar. Like I said, shades a bit different, but the actual products themselves are literal like dupes of each other. For concealer, I have a few dupes. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, their dupe is the NYX Born to Glow one. I think they're very similar. The NYX one does have this like sponge applicator, which some people aren't a fan of. I think it's really easy to apply to your face, especially if you're going under your eyes. I'm gonna go on to eyeshadow primer. Now, the actual primers itself are not like dupes, like it looks exactly the same, but the finish and the result of it under makeup is exactly the same. The high-end eye, I'm going in with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Everyone knows about this one. This is in the shade Eden, so it has some coverage to it, like it has an actual tint. I'm using the Amuse eyeshadow primer. If you can see, it's got that same sort of like yellow undertone to it. If you're looking for a cheap eyeshadow primer, as you can see, they have both like completely covered any imperfections or coloration on my lids. I feel like for eyeshadow palettes, there are certain brands that make literal copies of other brands. So your Makeup Revolution make really nice eyeshadow palettes, but they also have a tendency to make palettes that are literal like rip-offs of other palettes. This is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the Sofx collaboration. Now they're not identical, but there are quite a few shades that are quite similar, so I thought I could make an eyeshadow look that looked the same. So for the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, I'm going for Burnt Orange, which is the shade right here. And then for the Makeup Revolution palette, I'm going in with this shade, which is Running Late. So both palettes have a like deeper orange. In this one, it's called Realgar. Not too sure, but it's this one. So I'm gonna go in on a smaller fluffy brush and just add that into my crease. So now from the other palette, I'm going in with the color Sweet and Sour, which looks quite similar. This one here. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm gonna deepen up, like do a smoky wing, I guess, with a dark brown. So I think that's the shade that I'm gonna go with. And I'm going in with that same really dark brown to create this like really high smoked out wing. So overall, I think this dark shade is a lot deeper than this one was. So now I have this gold shade that I want to put on my lid. So this palette doesn't have the exact color. It has this like more bronzy color, but if I mix it with like a lighter shade, then maybe I can get it to look similar. So this is all I'm gonna do for eyeshadow for now. I'm gonna do mascara, lashes, and then I'll do my bottom lash line after I've done my foundation. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes really quickly. So for now, I'm just gonna tightline my lash line. Now, I don't really have like a high-end eyeliner, but I do have the Soap and Glory one, which I know is like kind of expensive for a drugstore eyeliner. The drugstore alternative that I have, which is literally like my favorite eyeliner, this is the Rimmel Waterproof Exaggerate. It's a wind up one and it's got a little smudge brush at the end, which I think is so handy. So for mascara, my favorite high-end one is the Roller Lash by Benefit. I don't really use any other mascara when it comes to like high-end ones, but the 17 Falsify HD mascara is like similar in the sense that the brush is a plastic wand, not a fibrous one, and it's got loads of little individual like bristles which will separate your lashes really well. For lashes, I was gonna put like a expensive pair and cheap pair on one side, but like I don't really have like really expensive lashes, so I just thought I would use these lashes from Mercier because it's the last pair that I haven't tried out, so I thought I would. However, I am going to be using a really cheap glue and then like more expensive glue. So for the expensive glue, this is the Duo Brush and Lash Adhesive. I know it's not expensive, but it is about like £7, I'm not too sure, and this one was £1, so you know, and they're both brush on glue, so I thought it'd be good to compare them. So I am just gonna trim these lashes and put them on because it's probably gonna take me really long to get them on, and then I'll come back and just reevaluate and compare the two glues. Okay, so my lashes are on, and I just want to say that the lash glues, you know, they're both really good. If you need latex free lash glue, then just go with the Mercier one, but if not, I think the Duo Lash Glue, I still prefer it. I feel like it feels a lot more comfortable on my eyes. I feel like the other one can irritate it slightly, so I just always will go with the Duo. So for face, I have two primers. So this is the Embryolisse cream, which is like seen all over Instagram and stuff. It's a very popular makeup primer, especially used by a lot of makeup artists themselves. So for the other side of my face, I'm going to be using the Aqua Primer by Mercier. This one's more of a serum, it's a little bit more like a gel, but under your makeup it looks exactly the same. If anything, I feel like a lot more people would like this one because it's like not a thick moisturizer. I feel like people with oily skin might not be able to use this one. The Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. This was a very popular primer back in the day. So the alternative that I have to that is the Makeup Revolution Poreless Putty Primer. You've seen me use this in a lot of my videos, and it's because it is literally my favorite primer. This putty primer is actually a direct dupe for the Tatcha Luminous Silk Primer, and that one is like crazy expensive as well, and I don't own that one, but I know that it works just as well as for foundation. I've got two clean new sponges, and I'm just going to be using different ones for different foundation because I don't want them to like mix. So for the high-end side, I'm going to be using the NARS sheerglow. I absolutely love this foundation. I think it provides such good coverage as well as having a really nice finish. The drugstore foundation that I'm going to use is the Wet n Wild, the dewy one, which is the new one. Now, like I said, this shade is a little bit light for me, so it's not going to look like identical. So now that our foundation is on, like you can tell, this one's a little bit lighter because the shades are exactly the same, but the finish and the coverage of both foundations is really, really good. So for high-end concealers, I've got the NARS Radiant Creamy. You know, these are staple, like everyone knows about these concealers. I'm using the shade Honey under my eye just to color correct first. Like I said before, I think that the NYX Born to Glow is a really good dupe, but if you want something with a bit more coverage, I suggest the e.l.f. Hydrating 16-Hour Camel Concealer. This is literally my favorite concealer, I'd say, ever. I absolutely love it. I feel like it has really good coverage, it's really hydrating, and it just looks really good on the skin. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a couple of minutes and then I'll be back to blend it out. So now that it's sat for a few minutes, I'm gonna blend it out. So again, I'm just using different beauty blenders for each eye. So I've just applied a bit of the NARS concealer in the shade Custard to just add a bit more like of warmth back to the under eye instead of having it be so pink. So the only thing I don't have that's like high-end concealer wise is a like brightening one. I used to have Tarte Shape Tape and I hated it. It was so dry, but everyone loved it so much because it was such full coverage. Well, if you want a dupe for it, the Makeup Revolution Super Size Concealer Define is your dupe. I feel like this just looks so good. You can use it under the eye, like all over the face. Honestly, it just looks so good. I am going to put some on the other side just because like I want it to be fair, that I don't want you to compare concealing and like think this one looks flat and not brightening just because I don't have a light concealer on. So now that concealer is done, I still just want to say that I do love the NARS Radiant Creamy concealers. I think they're really good, but I feel like I've fallen in love with the way that I apply my drugstore concealers and sort of the combination that I use. So for that, I just always prefer how the drugstore concealer looks. I feel like it just looks a lot better. For bronzer contour, I do want to do a cream contour before I do the powder one, just because I want to show you these dupes that I have. So everyone knows this is the Hoola Quickie contour stick. So I'm just gonna put some on. I'm gonna do bit by bit and build it up because it can be a little bit drying. So the dupe for the Hoola bronzer stick is the AOA Sculpt Effects contour stick. The only it's a little bit warmer, but when it's blended out, it looks pretty much exactly the same. Now it's time for blush. I'm going to show you a dupe for a like cream blush, just because I don't necessarily have a dupe for any powder blushes, and I only really want to give you a dupe if I know that they're like exactly the same. So this is the Cha Cha Tint by Benefit. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand because this can be quite pigmented and dry quite quickly. So this one's a liquid and it comes in a brush form, like in a little pot. Then the dupe that I have is a stick one, but the shade is the same and the finish is the same. This is the Super Magic BB blush stick from Shop Mercier actually, and it's in the shade 5. So I'm going to do the same. Just put some on my hand there, pick it up with the brush. I actually even prefer this one a bit. I feel because it's a cream and instead of a liquid, I'm not scared about like applying it. And I feel like this one is okay, but I actually really prefer this one. We're gonna put powder on and just set everything. For the high-end powder, it's not gonna be any surprise to any of you. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So obviously the Laura Mercier powder is a loose setting powder and my dupe is not, but the finish of the powder is the same. Now I know Makeup Revolution have a really good setting powder because I used to have it. I'll put a picture of it like somewhere down here. But for now I'm going to be using the rice powder that I got from Shop Mercier. So now that we've got our under eyes powder, it's time to go on to bronzer and blush. For my high-end bronzer, I have two which are the same, and then I'll show you the dupe. So if you have any of these, you know which dupe to use. So this is the matte bronzer from MAC, and it's quite an old one, but it's a staple. You know, a lot of people use it, a lot of people like it, as well as Hoola Caramel. I feel like this shade is so nice, it's really warm. I'm gonna just use a bit of both of them just to show you how similar they are. The Makeup Revolution Sculpting Bronzer in the shade Balau is so stunning. First of all, I'm going to use a different brush just so you know they don't interfere with each other. So for blush, like I said, I'm just going to use a Drugstore blush because I know I really like them. I honestly don't see the point of a high-end blush. I have so many Drugstore blushes that are so good. So for highlight, for high-end highlights, I've tried, you know, the Anastasia Beverly Hills glow kits and stuff, and I don't have them with me right now because it's all back home. So I am just going to show you a dupe to that. So this is a sleek highlighting palette. I've tried high-end highlighters, I've tried MAC highlighters, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I've tried Benefit, and I feel like none of those really give that like really wet, intense look without being glittery. I'm going to go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette and mix like the champagne shades and just try and make a bit of a highlight. So now I'm going to go onto lips. I have a lip liner and I have a lip gloss, but they don't really go well together, but I guess I could put them together just for the video. So the high-end lip liner that I'm going to show you is Brick by MAC. So let's just talk about these lip liners for a second. So the MAC one's obviously a pencil liner. You can sharpen it and get a really precise line. But at the same time, this one is retractable so you don't have to sharpen it, which I know a lot of people like. And it's 100% waterproof and it's super creamy. So I guess it just depends. If you really want to go and buy a MAC lip liner, then go and buy it. But I think if you're looking for good lip liners that are going to last really long, are really creamy and not drying, the Maybelline Color Sensational lip liners are amazing. It's a dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. For the Drugstore alternative, which is literally just a few pounds, is the Colourpop So Juicy lip gloss in the shade It's a Habit. It looks a lot darker in here. So that is it, guys. This is the high-end side and this is the Drugstore side. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye!